Hello. Today we're going to learn about TOEFL speaking, integrated speaking marking. Let's talk about the speaking scores first. For advanced, your score has to be 25 to 30, high intermediate 20 to 24, low intermediate 16 to 19, basic 10 to 15, and below basic 0 to 9. In TOEFL speaking, you get the best of both worlds, which means the speaking section is scored by a combination of artificial intelligence and by highly trained human raters. So there are multiple human raters. So there's no chance of any kind of error. The error is absolutely negligible. That is at a global level. So how does it work? There's a scale from 0 to 4, with 4 being the highest. The score is combined and then converted to a score between 0 to 30. I'm giving you a very rough formula. The exact formula will be in my further videos. Integrated speaking writing, I'm calling it a simplified version. If you're looking for a complete version of a PDF, there's a link shared in the description. Click on that link and you will get the complete PDF. Now, what parameters are checked? First of all, a general description is checked, which means your response. Second, the delivery is checked. That means the understanding of the other person. That means the speaker is able to deliver or not. Language, which consists of grammar and vocabulary. And the last is how the topic is developed. So let's talk about general description, marks 4. And we will be talking about the various parameters here. Now, to get a score of 4, all the demands of the task must be fulfilled. Minor gaps are okay, it's fine, they are ignorable, but it should be highly understandable and should show a sustained discourse. That means without stopping, without using fillers, it should be absolutely sustained. If I talk about marks 3, which means that it will be majorly developed. I'm not saying fully developed, mostly understandable, and some gaps in expression or ideas are fine. For a score of 2, some relevant information is missing, means the important information is missing. It will contain inaccuracies, and it contains some non-understandable speech, which is very confusing. For a score of 1, the content is limited, the connectors are not there, and it is not understandable. It is not understandable. So you get a score of 1 in that case. Now we'll proceed to our next parameter. And our next parameter is delivery, which means understanding. So if the speech is generally clear and sustained, you get a 4 score. If there are minor gaps that are ignorable, that's fine. In pronunciation or tone, it's okay. Speed may vary sometimes. Generally, the speed is very normal, but it may vary sometimes. There's a may. Overall, it's very understandable. If I talk about 3, in that case, some expressions are missing, minor difficulties with pronunciation and tone. Speed may require some effort at times. Overall is understandable. That means the speed can vary, may go up, may go down, but still it's very understandable. That means 3. So now what is 2? To get a score of 2 in delivery, this is the criteria. Problems with pronunciation, tone, and speed are there. Significant effort is required. That means the listener actually has to strain his ear to understand what exactly are you saying. Speech may not be sustained at a consistent level throughout. Sometimes it goes very fast, sometimes it becomes very slow, and there can be major problems in understanding. If I talk about 1, 1 is again, almost the same for everything. It is the last in the rung, last in the ladder. Consistent pronunciation and tone problems are there. The listener is super confused. Speech contains pauses, hesitation, and the speech is fragmented. I have a lot of examples in my further videos, so you can look at those examples and you can figure out what exactly is one score in delivery. Let's go to our next parameter, which is called language, means grammar and vocabulary. So the grammar and vocabulary are effective for a 4 score. Good control on both simple and complex structures. Minor errors are present, but they don't affect the meaning. If I talk about level 3 is fairly effective grammar and vocabulary use, coherent ideas. Some inaccuracies are there, but that do not hinder the message. That means the message is still understandable. There can be some problems, but the message is still understandable. If I talk about the level 2, in that case, we have a limited range of grammar and vocabulary, tough to fully express ideas, simple sentence structures with basic or unclear connection between the ideas. And 1 is obviously at the lowest level again. That means the grammar and vocabulary is very limited. The person cannot express himself, cannot connect the ideas. They generally respond with memorized phrases, the memorized phrases. So that gets a 1 score. If I talk about our next parameter, which is called as topic development and is the last parameter, now to get a score on this of a 4 score, you have to thoroughly develop your answer. Logical connections, clear-cut connections should be there between ideas. For a level of 3, mostly the ideas should be clear and relevant, but development is limited. Elaboration is limited. Connection between ideas may be sometimes unclear. I'm not saying all the time, I'm saying sometimes it can be unclear. So let's talk about 2. In this case, the ideas are limited. Basic ideas are expressed with little detail, and sometimes the content is very vague and repetitive. The content is very vague and repetitive in this case. Connections between ideas may be unclear. So what is 1? For a level of 1, again, it's the lowest level. Very limited or relevant content. Basic ideas are there. The person is really struggling for speech and is relying heavily on repeating the question again and again. He's not able to develop the topic, or she's not able to develop the topic, but they are still relying on the question by repeating the question again and again. So this gets us to the end of our 4 parameters. Now a score 0. The speaker makes no attempt to respond, or the response is unrelated to the topic. With this, we come to the end of our video, and I hope that it will be quite useful for you. In our next videos, you will be watching a lot of other things as well. Thank you so much.